It's my pleasure to introduce you to my colleague, Sharone Weizman. Sharone is our Director of Lifelong Learning. And I want to remind you that that title is significant. It's not just what we think of as education for kids, what typically we grew up with as Hebrew school. This is lifelong learning. That's an imperative in Jewish life and a great gift at VOS. So, Sharone, welcome.
Thank you.
You have an incredible resume, and not just on paper, but in terms of your reputation in the world of Jewish educators. I know that your background includes music and theater and degrees in Hebrew and education, but one of the things that I know you've done well is you've educated educators, not just kids. Can you talk a little about that?
Sure. So I've loved doing adult education as well as, like you mentioned, teaching teachers how to become their best selves and their best teachers.
And directors as
and
well.
directors, mentoring them. And I've done that throughout the states, in many states. And for me, it's really about just working with the teachers so they can bring out the very best in their lessons and their family education experiences to their students. And so really providing them with the tools to understand the differences with children and their learning styles. So most of my workshops have been on creating active lessons and experiential education and how to engage all learners, because we know that kids learn differently with multiple intelligences, and there's differentiated learning and styles. So the teacher can't just teach to what they're used to, but really to engage all the learners in the classroom.
So many things that you've said have really kind of sparked ideas or excitement in me. The idea of differentiated learning, the idea that we have to look as educators not at a classroom, but as at the individual child.
Absolutely.
And teach to that child.
Absolutely.
When you've done that, what does it look like? What's the feeling that families will experience at Jules?
So your kids, first of all, are going to be really happy. They're going to want to come to Hebrew school, and they're going to want to really be in the classroom, and they're going to feel like they're providing as well part of the curriculum. So when you have a student-centered approach, right, when you're really dealing with the children, of course it's guided by the teachers, but the kids feel like they have choices. They feel like they're really a part of the educational
Not
equation.
just an audience to it.
Correct. They're
beautiful.
active participants. They're getting up, they're engaged, they're enjoying the classroom with games. We're providing, cooking experiences, art, drama, role play, debates, everything that involves the child. And if you look at any lesson, Torah, Jewish history, values, anything, even Hebrew, even decoding can be taught in an experiential, fun, engaging way.
You just mentioned Jewish values, and I know that you have a little boy whom I've met a number of times, and he is in Jewish education. We're living at a time when I think parents and grandparents are deciding, how should I best use my time? Should it be soccer or volleyball or whatever else? Why are you and David prioritizing Jewish learning? Not only obviously because you're a Jewish family and a Jewish educator, but what do you want your child to derive from it?
Kindness, humility, love of others. We really want Ethan to really grasp the concept of do unto others as you would have them do unto you. For us, it's really about being a kind, good citizen of the world. And I believe personally that Judaism provides all of those values that we sometimes don't think about to really raise children in a mensch-like way.
Yeah, I think about Judaism as a kind of school for character, as much as about the language and the schooling and the education and the place
100%.
and the stories. It's
Yes.
about how do we cultivate a mensch,
Right.
male or female? How do we cultivate
Absolutely.
the best human being who will make the best contribution to the world that desperately needs it? So we've been a home-based Jewish learning program, Jules, for now about 16 years. You're now creating a home-based hybrid program. So you're
Right.
enhancing what was with this hybrid component. What does that mean? What will we experience that's hybrid?
So that's great. So as you mentioned, Jules has always been home-based. So we're going to continue that beauty for our littlest kids, from the Little Gems all the way through third grade. So we have the Little Gems program, our K1 and our second and third will remain in the home. And that will give them the positive experience, like when they're learning about the holidays. For example, let's look at Purim.
Yeah.
There's the kitchen. So
Yeah.
they'll have the aroma
Essential.
of the Hamantashen when it's time to do Yom Ha'atzmaut fun. We can do falafel and all the food
the
together
Israeli
in the
things.
home.
Yeah.
And all the art projects are in the home. But then as they grow up a little bit more, we want them to also have that same connection to our synagogue as their second home.
Yeah.
So once they're in 4th grade and up, they're also having the approach in the synagogue and the community experiences. And that way they're also with you, they're with me. We can pray together, we can learn together, and we can still create. And even in the synagogue, we're going to have that home-based model feel with the experiences duplicated in the synagogue.
So one of the things you already warned me about, which is a sweet way of saying it, was expect a lot of movement. Kids aren't
Yes.
going to be sitting in chairs
Oh, no.
looking up at a teacher,
No.
listening and doing worksheets. They'll be moving around,
Yes.
which
Yes.
I love.
They're going to be experiencing Judaism.
Yeah.
So they're going to want a tour of the Exodus all around the congregation. They're going to be in costumes. They're going to be creative. Everything that we're going to be teaching here is going to be active. I like to say that all of the classrooms, even if we're in the sanctuary is a classroom, it's active engagement. Kids are running, they're up, they're out of their seats, they're engaged in the learning process.
Fantastic. Now, this program is doing things well now for 15 years. What do you see as the add-ons, the enhancements that you want to bring? Because you've been really clear with me that you didn't come in to say, I'm changing, I'm moving things that were aside to replace them with something else, but instead to say, what is the best of Jules and how do we constantly improve it? So what does constant improvement mean for you, let's say this year?
Amazing. So 100%, Jules is a gem.
Yeah,
As
it
we say,
is.
our classrooms are called gems. So I want to keep all of that beauty that is already part of Jules, but I would love to bring in more family engagement, because I truly believe that with the family being a part of the learning process, then it becomes sticky. And it's sticky not just for the child, but for the parents. And if the parents are having fun,
Yeah.
they're going to want to model that for their kids at home. So we're going to bring in many more family Shabbats together with the families, holiday programs, mitzvah opportunities and social action opportunities, and really praying together, but in a fun way with ruach and musicians, where everyone can enjoy together. And one big thing is we're going to be eating a lot. So
Kind of figured that's
we
coming.
we got to feed our families
Yeah,
and our
not just the
parents,
kids, the parents
and
too.
our parents, and it's okay to do wine and cheese with the adults
Yeah,
at times,
sure.
or like just to make sure that they feel home.
Yeah.
And part of the home is eating and smelling the foods that are Jewish cooking.
For sure. Good. So I'm excited about the year. I mean, really, as you can imagine, very excited. I hope that you listening and meeting Sharone share in that excitement. Whether you're an existing parent in our school or in our teen program, or you're a grandparent, or you're somebody who's in that middle point in life going, how do I reconnect? How do I connect to my Judaism and learn more? I really hope that you'll lean on Sharone and contact her and say, how do I get into this? How do I become involved? Anything else you want to add before we say goodbye and leitraot, see you
Yeah.
later to the
Yeah,
community?
I just want to say that so far, everyone that I've met at Jules has been so loving and warm and welcoming, and I'm so excited to be here. This is my second home. My husband, Dave, and Ethan and I already feel so comfortable here. We've been welcomed in, and I hope that you join us for Shabbat services and for all of the holidays coming up. And I like to say to any family who might be thinking about Jules is come and taste it, meaning just come and try it. We're totally fine with auditing and experiencing the program without, signing any dotted lines.
And that applies to the synagogue as a
Of
whole as well.
course.
The doors are open. I've often thought that if there is a little caricature figure of how I see myself as a Jewish leader, it's somebody who is maybe a little Jewish guy with a huge sledgehammer. And my goal is to not build the most beautiful doorway into the most gorgeous sanctuary, but it's to widen that doorway into Jewish life, to let more and more people come in, interfaith families.
Absolutely.
And people who have a lot of Jewish experience and knowledge, and people who have very little, just Jewish curiosity, let's say that. So with that said, I want to thank you.
Of course.
I want to say have a wonderful, wonderful time ahead with us. And it's just a gift to have you
Thank
in
you.
our VOS family. And I
Thank
look
you.
forward to seeing all of you soon.
And a Shana Tova to everyone.
Shana Tova.